All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, when Joe Girardi was named as the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies prior to the start of the 2020 MLB season, he was met with a hero's welcome in the city of brotherly love, but you might have a situation on your hands soon where he could be public enemy number one there. Now, the Phillies currently find themselves with a record of 12 and 16 as they are in fourth place in the National League East and 7 games behind the first place New York Mets. Now, so far this season, the Phillies are 3 and 6 versus the Mets, with their worst loss coming this past Thursday night at home when they blew a 7-1 lead in the ninth inning. Now, the Phillies have started the season slow before and been able to turn it around, while the Mets were the hot team and they stumbled down the stretch. You only have to go back to the 2007 MLB season to see that, where the Mets squandered a 7 game lead with just 17 games left in the regular season to these same Phillies. Now, even though that some Philly fans can continue to be optimistic because of that, uh, each season is not the same. And all of those players involved in 2007, they are long gone and they're retired from the great game of baseball. The Phillies overall, honestly, they've really just underachieved in the past 4 years as they've consistently hovered around the 500 mark. First with Gabe Kapler as a skipper, and now with Joe Girardi. And for Girardi, if things don't turn around soon, the hot seat that he is currently on with the fan base in Philly is really, really going to get fired up. Now, the thing about this, the expectations were so high for this Phillies team coming into the offseason. You already had Reese Hoskins, JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, and Gene Segura in this lineup. Then you go out there and add the likes of Nick Castellanos along with Kyle Schwarber, and you basically expected to have murderers row. Hasn't been the case so far this season. Reese Hoskins is hitting under 200, which was not expected for one thing. Pitching wise, we haven't seen it. The Phillies, they're 10th right now in team earned run average in the National League. And when you think about that, Zach Wheeler, after having a couple of solid seasons with the Phillies after signing that big contract, he has really stumbled to begin this season with a 1-3 mark and an ERA north of 4. You think about it for the Phillies as a whole, what you're seeing right now, this was supposed to be the easy portion of their schedule, and they've been unable to take care of business. They've had a lot of games where they really should have won. And at the end of the day, they've lost. And this is why this team is in fourth place. This is why this team is sub 500. And they got to get it going soon because the schedule's going to get tougher. You're talking about a road trip this week that starts off in Seattle with the Mariners. And I know the Mariners are a sub 500 team as well right now. But nonetheless, next weekend, a big 4 game set at Chavez Ravine against the Los Angeles Dodgers, series against the San Diego Padres coming up, another series with the Dodgers, and then they finally get the Atlanta Braves on their slate for 4 games on the road, which is followed by 3 at Citi Field against the Mets, and then they wrap up the month at home versus the San Francisco Giants. So, you think about the Braves and the Dodgers, the last 2 National League champions, pardon me, World Series champions, excuse me. And then with the San Francisco Giants, they won 107 games last year. So this is what the Phillies, have to deal with real soon. And this is gut check time as you want to answer the bell because yes, it's a slow start. Yes, it's less than 30 games that you've played so far. But at some point, you can't just, say, all right, we're going to turn it on when we need to turn it on because, that time may not come. The Mets, they've gotten off to a hot start. Not saying that the Mets are going to keep playing like this, but, the solid start, you have to respect it. And with that said, at some point, the Atlanta Braves are going to get it going. They're 14 and 16 right now. And the Braves, they're the defending champs. They've run this division for the past couple of years. So once the Braves get on a roll, and I think it's going to happen, if you're the Phillies, you don't want to get lost in the dust, and you don't want this to turn into a two-team race between the Braves and Mets. I know, granted, the extra postseason spots, this, that, and the third, but nonetheless, you still want to try to get your footing and get things going if you are the Phillies. Now, for me, I look at this West Coast trip that's coming up for the Phillies. Maybe this is a time where they get things going in Seattle. Then on top of that, against the Dodgers, it's easier said than done. But the Phillies, they need to find their footing sooner rather than later. You can't keep going out there losing games that you're supposed to win and expect to be a playoff team. At some point it's going to come back and bite you in the derriere. In the case of Girardi, it's been frustrating if you're a Phillies fan because the expectations were so high when he took this job several years ago. Of course, you think about what he did for so many years as a manager of the New York Yankees, helped them win a World Series championship back in 2009. You were hoping to see some of that Yankee pedigree follow him down to Philly, and what you've seen for the most part is an underachieving ball club. There was plenty of money spent this offseason, and so far, the Philly fans really don't have a lot to cheer about. I know for Girardi, he has an option for 2023, but the way things are going so far this season, at least, I don't see that option being picked up. Obviously, a lot can be changed between now and the end of the season, but nonetheless, this is not the solid start that the Phillies were expecting. So let's see if this club can get things turned around. They've given away some ground to the Mets, obviously, excuse me, in this division, but nonetheless, it's still early. So I don't think anybody is pushing the panic button yet. But overall, with the Phillies, this was not the start that they expected. But hopefully, for their sake, they can turn things around sooner rather than later. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.